With a live audience at the Gold Dust Lounge at Fishermans Wharf, it's the Will and Willie Show. Brought to you by Lefty O'Doul's Drink Mixes, your bartender in a bottle. I'm Paul Wells.
I'm Will Durst.
And I'm Willie Brown.
And I'm Dan Ashley.
Dan Ashley is our guest. He was in the last segment. And we do our Q&A with the audience. We had a gentleman came up before for a question, so just form a queue and come up to the microphone to ask questions of Will, Willie, or Dan.
Or Paul.
Or Paul.
Or me. Well, I have a question, Dan.
Yes.
I mean, TV, I do a lot of radio, and apparently I come here without any makeup. Can you give me some makeup tips for TV? I mean,
It's embarrassing, but I could give you makeup tips.
I got bags under my eyes, and I don't have a smile for TV.
It's a little sad how much I actually know about makeup. This is not when I was in J school in college. We didn't talk about this, but it's terrible.
And Paul, I think he's looking at the impossible.
I mean, I'm good, Willie, but
I
not
still
that.
have a great face for radio. Yeah. Not going to change that. We maybe MySource TV is producing this, and WillandWillie.com or MySourceTV.com. If you're listening to it on the radio and you want to see what we look like.
I have a question about the band. The band is called Push.
Push, that's right.
And how'd you guys form?
I've been with these guys for about 3.5 years. They played my charity golf tournament. I send underserved kids to summer camp every year at Lake Tahoe. And we've sent to date about 7,500 kids, all expenses paid.
Can I go?
You can go, absolutely.
I would love to go to Lake Tahoe to summer camp. Are you kidding?
All the others would be going, who's that big kid? So
I'll be a counselor.
So they played my charity golf tournament. I met these guys. They're terrific. And they didn't have a lead singer. They just sort of all took turns and they played. And we got to talking. And I had just started taking some singing lessons and developing that as a kind of an interest and a passion. One thing led to another. And we got together. And we play all over the Bay Area now. It's really fun.
Way cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I intend to file a lawsuit because I think you're intruding upon the name.
Push?
Jesse Jackson's on.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, people will be very confused if they book one and get the other. Yeah.
Somebody's going to want their money back.
Yes, right. For sure.
All right, let me ask a question absentee because the guy came up and asked before we got into the segment. The Sunday parking in San Francisco. Oh, yes, no. I mean, let's do a quick. Oh, here you are, sir.
Absolutely.
Microphone, identify yourself.
Mark Vogel, my question is, they're bringing in $9 million now because people are paying $75 to $85 on Sunday afternoons of income they didn't plan on. Have any of these supervisors in San Francisco asked their constituents how they want it? No, they said we just want to give the money to Muni. My question is, why should we put up this? We should have one day where we can get it to our side, not their side.
Well, we've had Sunday parking forever on the wharf, along the Embarcadero.
Right.
That's always been
The port.
I've always wondered
Right.
why. Because it's under the jurisdiction of the port, which is a state entity, not a city entity. And I've always wondered why we didn't have Sunday parking all over.
Right.
It seems to me, if we we want to be a walk-in town, if we want to be a town that is not hung up by the automobile, maybe you should pay.
You live on 4th and Mission. I live in the Sunset District, which is where you can never see the sunset because
you'd
of
be
the fog.
surprised of how
But
healthier you
live
are.
on
I have to drive. I have to park.
Yeah, so
Because, I don't want to pay on a Sunday.
I know,
What, am I
nobody
going to get a handicap placard like everybody else in this town so I don't have to pay? I could stick at a meter with a blue placard for hours upon hours?
for years,
If you have
I've
an
raised
operation,
questions about
I'm going to get one.
Yeah.
I've raised questions about whether or not those placards were appropriate as well. I really do think that we need to relook at every aspect of how we handle automobiles and parking in this city. There are obviously some serious discrepancies between various units in the location. For an example, you may very well not want to employ the concept of parking meters in certain locations in San Francisco. If you wanted to encourage people shopping, for an example, on Clement Street or in the Outer Mission and what have you, you may want to have the parking done in downtown San Francisco, on the Fisherman's Wharf, in places where there's already overcrowding. You may want to reduce that.
And
So
like by
your
the park.
motivation is just not to get money. Your motivation is to control access by automobiles.
And also,
So you go,
the
you go
merchants.
to the farmer's market on Saturday, and there's no place to park around there, you spend $450 buying your goods, you come back and you got an $85 parking ticket. I talked
Now
to
you're at 535.
You're at 535.
Anybody else have a
Vintage
question?
math,
There's
didn't
two
you?
people in Mineola that can add now. The second thing is I talked to a parking attendant down there on a Saturday morning. I said, how do you do between 9 and 12? He says, I do about $5,000 in tickets right around AT&T Park. This is ludicrous. It's an unfair tax the city's putting on us.
Wait, what is the number one source of income revenue for San Francisco?
Tourists.
Tourism for sure, but
And
citations are probably up.
parking tickets.
Yeah.
No, not that high.
Really?
$200 million
He would know.
clear on
No.
the parking tickets.
No. 200 million?
$200 million.
No.
Wake up. Hello.
Maggie, you want to weigh in on
Maybe
this?
9.
No, not your problem
100 million.
anymore. Maggie's not with SFMTA anymore. It's not her problem.
But it seems to me, that you're always going to have the tourists come here because they're here and they're going to
It's a
travel and they're
destination.
going to put up
Hello.
with it. But it should be easy for residents of the city to get around. But it seems to me you also want to try to attract people from Marin and the East Bay and the Peninsula on a weekend, not to come in just to work, but to come in and have dinner, come in and shop. And I know a lot of people avoid it because parking is just a nuisance.
People
And
don't
they
come to
choose not
San
to come.
Francisco because
The
it's too
parking
much of a
lots,
nuisance. That's not
cost
good.
of a
Parking lots.
in parking lots is so outrageous. I mean, it is
Right, it's too high.
absolutely, it's unbelievably expensive.
I had a
Period.
gig. I had a gig at the Hyatt Regency the other day. It was $67
To park in the
to
hotel.
park at the hotel.
Right.
And I told the guy, no, I don't want a room. I just want to park it. $67.
Yeah.
And we take it out on drivers. Now, I bicycle. I'm a pedestrian. I've walked from the Embarcadero back home over the top of the hill. I do all things like that. And it seems like there's a heavy prejudice against drivers and cars. When Willie Brown was mayor, the lights were timed on major
Right.
boulevards. Now they're all messed up, so the traffic backs up because you can't go through. Weren't you?
Well, and we don't have traffic control officers. It seems to
Right.
me if we want to move traffic in this town appropriately, we would have traffic control officers. Traffic gets backed up because people don't clear the intersection when the light
the box.
changes.
Right.
And if they clear the
Oh,
intersection,
yeah. Blocking the box.
But-
But there should be tickets given out for
They
blocking
used
the
to.
box.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can do that with cameras now. Because
Right.
you know whether or not that camera is timing you the thing. And so it seems to me we really ought to use whatever revenues we're bringing for increase purposes to smooth out traffic. And the way you do that is hire traffic control officers who literally will be there to give anybody a ticket, who keeps the intersections free and clear from about 3 o'clock every day till 7 o'clock every day.
Willie, are there other cities that do this? I imagine there are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, most cities have traffic
Really?
control officers where there is a serious problem.
Okay.
You don't see people blocking the intersection in New York. They actually confiscate your damn car.
That's true.
That's right. They confiscate your car if you block the intersection in New York.
All you got to do is do that 3 or 4 times, and the word gets out.
And it's
No,
all over.
is that the cops that
like
confiscate or
cutting
the
the hand
crooks
off of
that
a
confiscate your
shoplifter.
car in New York?
You're thinking King City. King City. The cops, they busted every cop in King City.
Right.
Because they were selling cars that they'd taken from people in a traffic situation, and they discovered that the people didn't have insurance, didn't have a license, and was not an undocumented person. And so they keep the car.
Just
they
take the
sell
car.
The police chief, the ex-police chief, his brother, the entire...
We have another questioner
Oh, great.
here. State your name. Where are you from?
Hey,
Where are you from?
I'm from here, San Francisco.
Yay!
My name is Paula Fiscal, and I am here because I'm a fan of Willie Brown, and I'm a fan of Will Durst. In fact, I knew Will from back in Milwaukee,
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Back in Wisconsin.
That's right.
Yeah.
Where parking was free.
Like San Jose used to be.
That's right. And I like to see Dan in real life. I've never seen a real life guy like this.
With legs.
Your makeup.
Usually it's just here up.
Your makeup.
Thank you very much.
Your makeup is great. I like your makeup.
Thank
Do you ever wear shorts behind the desk?
With my legs, no.
Okay, so here's my question.
Question.
The question revolves around something real simple. Real simple. Last time I was here with Carol Ruth Silver, and you know I was her aide in the early 80s. And you know, once an aide, always an aide. So her book has been published. It's called Freedom Reader Diary. I brought a book for Willie. And the book signing is going to be at Books Inc., 7 o'clock, Opera Plaza. That's my ad for the night.
When?
Tomorrow night. Not tomorrow night. Monday night.
Monday
night. 7
Monday
p.m.
the 3rd.
The 3rd.
Okay. Well,
And
this
so
where
airs
is
on
it, at
Sunday the
Bookwire?
9th, so it's not going to help a lot.
The book is right here.
No, but
right,
where
well,
is it been?
Books Inc.
Give it to us at
Book
the end of
sync.
the show.
It's
Books
at
Inc.
Books Inc.
Thank
Opera
you.
Plaza at 7 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I brought some blue flyers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that almost was a question. Dan Ashley on the Will and Willie show. Before your band plays after this segment, there's like, is there anything you'd like to bring up that we have?
Is this Anchor's Choice?
Anchor's Choice. Anchors away.
You know what I don't know. We might talk about, we have here the Bitcoin controversy. We've been reporting this. I'm still not even sure what Bitcoin is. I'm still trying to learn
Great
about
way
this.
to buy drugs.
Yeah,
That's what I hear.
evidently.
Yeah.
We haven't talked much about, we're in the middle of this drought. Thankfully, we've had some rain the last week or so.
How
We
about,
have global
not
warming.
only have we have rains, we've had floods.
That's right.
One of the rainiest Februarys ever.
I saw on TV, I saw on Channel 7, literally hillsides rolling down in the Los Angeles area because there was so much water. And people
After
were
the fires, yeah.
They're actually putting racing stripes on the side of some of them. Because
Malibu Grand Prix.
Remember Johnny Carson's old line? Somebody asked him, he said, somebody back east asked me, how's it going out in California? He said, it's going great. The mudslides are putting out the wildfires. It's amazing to
I
me
kid you
that
not.
we have no rain for months, and then we have a couple days of rain and all this calamity down south and some here. It's remarkable. It doesn't take, even though we're desperate for rain, it doesn't take much rain, does it? To cause
California.
problems.
And people are selling, literally in hardware stores, they're selling bags full of sand so you can
Yeah.
keep the water out of your house.
Right.
Who in the name of heavens would schedule bags out of sand? Why would you think you'd have that available? But they apparently had it available, and people were actually buying it.
for people who don't want to bag their own sand.
Have you ever bagged sand? It's a pain in the neck.
I pounded it, but I've never bagged it.
I've pounded, never mind.
Oh, sorry.
And with that,
Look at you. You're blushing on the radio.
Yeah,
There's
well,
some
like a
great-
lobster or something.
They're sliding it a long time.
I do want to mention again, Dan Ashley, thank you for being
My
here,
pleasure.
being our guest.
When's
There's
your
live
golf
music
tournament?
here at the Gold Dust
Wait a minute.
Lounge, and you're approved tonight.
Dan, when's your golf tournament?
Of course, if you're
My golf
listening
tournament
on
is
radio,
in September, end of
already
September,
happened.
early October, typically.
And look for it.
Band Push.
No, you're
and
gone.
Also, I want to thank the Bovis family. I want to thank Jim and Gracia and Marina and Nick. The Bovis family, this fine establishment, which they've kept alive,
Yes.
which was for
Fantastic.
80th anniversary, but the first year here at Fisherman's Wharf.
A San Francisco
Find
treasure.
it. Come down here. Hang out. Big screen TVs all over the place. 165 Jefferson. You can
great.
ride the F streetcar right to the front door. You don't have to park here.
Nah.
And we're going to make sure they don't raise that to $6 if Willie Brown could help us do that. That's a terrible idea. It's not a cable car. You can't climb halfway to the stars. I also want to thank Laura Rose and Michael Butler of My Source TV for making it possible. And also,
I want to thank Team Durst for showing up tonight. Yeah?
Debbie Durst.
Thank you, guys.
And the entire Durst Orchestra, ladies and gentlemen. And also, I want to
The
thank
June
you
Taylor dancers.
for listening and watching the Will and Willie Show, brought to you by Lefty O'Doul's Drink Mixes, and somewhere here we'll go out with the Will and Willie theme before Walgreens tries
Hey, are
to
those-
And
steal
it's
it.
too bad you're going to miss the singing of Dan Ashley with Push.
Oh,
Yes, we should actually
We'll
splice
post,
some of that in.
You know what we'll do is we'll post the first 3 songs
online.
online.
on the website,
of
on
the
Willie
set.
Willie. Wow.
MySourceTV.com will have it. Also, WillieWillie.com if you missed any part of our radio and or TV show. I'm Paul Wells.
I'm Will Durst.
And I'm Willie Brown.
And I'm Dan Ashley. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you for being our guest today on the Will and Willie Show from the Gold Dust Lounge.
With a live audience.
Thank you.
And it's a line drive to
Key lime margarita?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Just watch.
Whoa.
Hi.
Go for it.
Thanks.
What about me?
Got you covered.
Hey.
Whoa.
Hey.
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 Lefty O'Doul's drink mixes at these fine stores.
What are you doing? I'm getting the girl back.